Hi there and welcome back. Been a bit of delay in producing this video. I've been working on a few other things that have kind of taken up a bit of time, but we're here now. I'm going to go through a few of the basic commands for using your system. This isn't necessarily hacking. This is just navigating around your system and doing a few things, managing files, stuff like that. So, here on the right, I've got myself a terminal. You can see along the top of Carly, look, there's a terminal symbol. Click that, we'll get ourselves a terminal. And that one's just appeared on top of the other one. There we are, just there. There's a little drop down as well that gives you a few other options as well, but by default, we'll just stick with the terminal. So a few things first. Some very basic stuff. Who am I? And it comes back with a username. Now, while you're using Carly itself, this is exactly useful. But if you're on another system that you've gained access to, then you could find out which user you're logged in at. Yeah, that's who am I. To find out where you currently are in the entire system, PWD, present working directory. Even though it says there, Carly at Carly, that's the user at the machine's name. So the user is Carly, the machine is Carly. Here, it tells you where you are in the system. That tilde and / followed by a folder name says that you're in the home directory, and in that home directory there's a folder called test, and that's where you are. If you look to the left, got folder open, I'm in the home directory, username is Carly, so it's my home directory, and I'm in a folder called test. We've got one, you can see, there we are. Go back into test, we're there. So that returns home Carly test. Now in this folder, without the actual folder view on the left, I've got no idea what's in there. So I can list it with ls. It tells me it's folder 01 in there. If I do ls and it's la, that will list everything in a list format and show you everything that's there. In this display you can see we've got the folder, which is fairly obvious, and then we've got some previous folders above it. All this on the left here are file permissions, which we'll deal with at another time. There's the owner. It's also a group, so you can belong to a group. You don't necessarily have to be that same user. I could be admin and part of the Carly group. I could be user 4 and part of the Carly group. That means I inherit some permissions of the group that are allowed to me, but not necessarily the same permissions as the user there, because they're the owner of that file and folder. Then we've got file size or folder size, creation date and creation time, and here we got for the folder 01, folder name. Something that's quite smart that you can also do is ls folder 01, and they'll tell you what's in there. At the moment, absolutely nothing. Yeah, I could do the same with lsla, and it shows me nothing in there. Probably noticed that some autocomplete going on as well here. Yeah. Not only is it sort of filling out a ghosted version of a previous command, but if I start typing what I know is in there already, and then press tab, it'll complete. Or if there was a folder, O1, folder O2, folder O3, it would go as far as suggesting folder O, and a tab press would usually give me options of what I can pick. Very useful. Yeah, so nothing really there. Right, now using the command line in the terminal, I don't really want to be stuck in folder 1, or in the test folder, beg your pardon. Yeah? So where I'm at the moment, I'm in the test folder. If I want to change folder, I can go up one, so I'm going to Kali. That would be cd for change directory dot dot. And there I am. Listed loads of stuff. Well, you can see it's tried to suggest what I'd like to go into there. Yeah, and I can tab through those choices, press return, and return again, and it takes me there. There's some other basic CD commands as well. If I type cd / just on its own, that would take me to the root directory. Yeah, so really it's the very, very bottom, or very top, depending on how you look at it, of my folder system on my computer here. If I type cd tilde, remember that from earlier on, / that then takes me to my home directory. And we're back there. Useful to know, particularly if you're referencing a configuration file that's buried somewhere in your home folder, in another folder, in another folder, in another folder. Before you even get to the configuration file, you can specify these things quite nicely in the terminal. Any idea what that does? Oh, clears everything on your screen. Sometimes you'll see me not type anything, and all of a sudden the screen will clear. Big fan of shortcuts, wherever it's possible. If you press Control and L, it will clear your terminal screen. Right, so we're here in the test folder. Let's go into folder 01. See, nothing there at the moment at all, but we can create a document or file with the command touch. Let's create a test file. There it is. See the properties. Created by a user called Kali. It belongs to the Kali group. And then we have file permissions, file size, file size, it's there, and creation date and time alongside a name. You can see there in the folder, it's definitely there. No bytes, empty document, created today. What I can do is echo hello viewers. When I've done that, what I've done, echo is sending this value to the test file. See there? Written it to it. If I do that again, let's just put an exclamation mark on there. Oops. She won't do that. Right, so we take that. Type in there again. Oops. Run it. See, it's gone. The file size has gone up now. That's because I've included another word. Yes. It's written hello viewers again. If I do 2 right arrows, the first example writes that value to the test file. That's all it does, creates that entry in that test file. If I repeat that, but then put 2 right arrows, you can see the file size has gone up again because it's written the line and appended it to what was already there. Yeah, so 1 right arrow will write the value to the test file. 2 right arrows will append to anything that's already there. So, if I want to copy this file, CP, copy. And the file I'm going to copy, and then destination and name of what I want to copy it as. We're using the same folder here still, so I'm going to copy test file to a file called copy. And there we have it. Exactly the same content. I can remove that copy using the command remove, which is RM. And you saw it disappear there on the left. Yeah, it's gone. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back up into test. I'm going to copy folder 1. I'm going to call it folder 2. Oops. Got to watch out for this. Still not happy. You see that what it says there? -R not specified. So -R, that's for recursive. So everything in folder 01 will also get copied to folder 2. Oh, look. We've also got a test file in folder 2. There you go. So in test, folder 1, and I have a folder 2. So I'm going to remove -R folder 2. And you just watch that there on the left disappear. Yeah, and use that -R or TAC-R, as I think it's the Americans call it. So it's recursive all the way down through folder 2. You couldn't just delete folder 2 and leave the file in there. There's nothing to contain it. It doesn't make sense to us here. Right, probably quite important to start talking about sudo. Sudo is a powerful command. It gives you administrative rights to do almost everything or anything in Linux or Kali. We're going to use an example of it here to update the system. So, sudo. Yeah, you can see it's already got some autocomplete bits there. So sudo super user do apt update is going to update your system. Usually when you enter sudo, it'll ask for a password unless you're already logged in or use sudo within a short period beforehand. But sudo apt update will help make sure that your system's up to date and do a quick check of the Kali repositories and feedback to you whether you've got updates available. I left this version of Kali alone for quite a while now. Not as it appears to be a little bit longer than I thought, with 882 packages available. But as you can see here, yes, we can do an update. So after sudo apt update, to find out if you've got updates, you would do sudo apt upgrade. And then I'll run through and provide you with a nice little list of things it's going to update for you and ask you if that's okay. You can see there's continue and a big N, sorry, a big Y and a small n. The capitalized letter is the default if you just press enter. I press enter and away it goes. Now, sometimes this takes quite a while and sometimes it doesn't. So I'll pause this and come back in just a moment. And we're back. So after quite a little bit of time, we've wound up with this screen here. It tells me it's a new kernel available, kind of core, if you like, of the operating system. I'm just going to press OK, and it's going to ask me which service should be restarted. To be honest, I'm going to tab it and just go straight for OK, because what we'll usually get once this is all done is a message that it's best to log off or restart your machine. So here we are, Kali is restarting all those services or train door that we specified. Tick all the boxes, you're probably going to get a restart, a need for a restart anyway. Don't tick the boxes and you're probably going to get a message saying that you're going to have to log out or restart anyway. So let this run for a while. The update did take quite a while. This usually takes a few minutes to finish, then you get a message. Or not. I'm fully expecting a message with that number of updates. So we shall see. We're back again in a moment. And so we're back. We've got the message I kind of knew we'd get. Relog or in or restart is required. Tells you things are out of date, so best to restart your machine. So once again, back in a moment. And so we're back again. That update is completed, and the upgrade is now finished too. So what we typed was sudo apt update, sudo apt upgrade. There's some clever things we can do here. If I come back to just between those two commands and put an and symbol or ampersand, what that'll do is run the first command and then run the second command. It has its uses, but for this, much better, double ampersand. You can see from the autocomplete, I've used it a little bit before. So what that does is it will update and then it waits. And then once sudo apt update is completed, it'll move on to sudo apt upgrade. You can see from the autocomplete already, but -y, it won't give you that option to choose whether to proceed or not. It just automatically carries on for you. Now, another one we haven't covered now yet is sudo apt auto remove with a tac y on the end. Anything that is obsolete, unnecessary, still on your system that isn't up to date, has now been either superseded or just obsolete, no longer required, will get removed. So I tend to do this command all in one go when I'm updating my machine. Get an update from the repository, upgrade anything that is out of date and obsolete, no longer required, and then those obsolete files, if they're still on your system, will be removed with auto remove. And again, I put the tac y on the end Press enter. So it's the first time running sudo here, so it's going to ask me for my password. Type that in, and away we go. Now it's telling me there's 3 packages can be upgraded. That might surprise you, because we've already done the upgrade. But let's run through, and then we'll scroll back. You can see that's quite quick if you do regular upgrades and updates. It doesn't take long at all. No pausing videos. If we go back here, it says not upgrading. That means that the automatic update upgrade has not caught those files. So if I right click, copy that selection, what I can do is sudo apt install and then paste those files there. See? There it's showing that it is removing something, but it's upgrading those files that we've asked it to install. Got the option yes or no, default is yes, press enter, and away we go. We shouldn't be asked for any kind of reboots or re-logging in on this one. Let's clear that, Control L. Some other useful things to know. Let's take Nmap. You can see I've already been using that for a few things. Type on its own, kind of hasn't really told us anything. Type Nmap -h, and it gives us a help dialog. Lots of information there. Version, and then it starts talking about all these switches that you can add to your command. If I'd put nmap tac il, capital L there, it would have taken any kind of input of targets that we're going to scan from a file, kept on a list. Various different kinds of scans, how to specify ports. Lots of information there. Sometimes you get nothing back from tac-h. So try tac help. As you can see here with nmap, got the exact same information. Nmap is well established network mapper or scanner, if you like. So it doesn't surprise me that it provides you with both options there. What you can also do is look for the manual for different programs. Oops. So I type man, nmap, map, and spell it correctly. Ooh. Usually more extensive. So here there's a description, examples, much better presented, but always worth knowing that it's there. That's man, M-A-N, it's manual for your programs and applications. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. Very well developed, very well supported, wonderful program or application, if you prefer to call it that way. Yeah, you can see this list. Sorry, this information is far more extensive than just pressing help. Okay, so let's clear that. And that's it for now. That's somewhere between 15 and 20 basic commands just to get you going. Practice, practice, practice. You will be doing a lot of file management, moving around folders, copying files, editing files. Which reminds me, we're in test. Let's cd into that folder. Yep, test file's still there. There are various text editors available. Mousepad comes as kind of a default program within Kali. I prefer to use Nano, though Vim gets used by a lot of people, very popular. I think Nano is just easier to use once you get past the kind of initial little bits of learning you need to do. So if I was to Nano test file within the command line, within the terminal, it will show you the contents that you can edit and alter and add to, and so on. Control X starts the I've finished with what I'm doing. You see there at the bottom, save the modified buffer, put in yes. It'll just move on, you don't have to press return. Ask you right to the file, test file. Let's enter again. If I do Nano test file, you can see the edited versions there. You can go up and down in your history of commands with the up-down cursor arrows. See there, I've deleted the test file bit at the end of Nano. This test file's still there. I can right arrow and it selects that. Yeah, that may be all I want, and I'm going to add some more things to it, or I just want to Nano the test file. If I put in a name that doesn't exist in the folder I'm in, it creates a blank document. I hasn't saved it yet because I've put no content in, not told it to save. But I can start it in a completely fresh document, and at the end it will save it for me if I tell it to do so. So we've kind of skipped the touch command. So here, press Control X, and we're out of it. There's been no change to that empty file. So that should get you started. Feel free to rummage around. Any other commands that you feel should be covered, drop me a message in the comments. We will move along, be doing some more commands, but probably in context to the things we're going to be covering. I hope that's been helpful, and I should see you soon.
Like and subscribe!